Good morning, guys. Happy Monday. Monday's always the kind of the set forth direction of for the markets, I believe. Hopefully, everybody had a good, safe weekend. We did see some action on Bitcoin this weekend, which we were talking about. We did actually hit 45,000, so that was a good prediction. Now let's see where our next levels are. Obviously, we have a retest of 45,208. Let's just say 45,000. Let's see if it can break through that, and if it can, then we see 48,000. If it can't break through, we have a 41,000 level, and then way low at the 39,173. So 39,173, 4160, and about 48,000. Those are current levels I'm looking at right now for Bitcoin. If we go to SPY, it's so odd. It's so weird that these are lining up as the same numbers to me. So 448, and then you have 48,000 for Bitcoin. So 448 is a level I'm looking for SPY. Now, okay, this is getting really close to that 450 range. So yeah, this is, we could see a possible correction happening, or at least a decent sized pullback. So just be prepared mentally for that part. Don't go heavy in your positions once we get closer to that 448. It's going to become getting a little rocky, I believe. So 431 is our main support. I think if we break that, then we're going to see a lot lower. I would even argue and go past 424. We could probably go past that as well. So basically, the omni bands, each levels here are possible scenarios that we could hit. So it's anything is possible that you see on whatever time frame that the bands are rendering. That's for the guys that actually have the subscriptions. But if you don't, this just makes it a lot easier to do your technical analysis in the mornings and figure out where you want to go in your plays. So again, 431 and 448. That's my those are my target goals. Where I'm looking. Well, sorry, 448 is my target goal, and then 441 if we break that, we see lower. So let's see. DraftKings, we did hit our 55 range, pretty close. They like to not push it all the way up, but um, we could see maybe a continuation run on this. It really depends on how the market's going to react this morning. We did have a nasty drop. Not, I wouldn't say nasty, but that there could be a little more push going down this morning. So I would wait till everything kind of levels out. Hopefully, this is not a take profit zone, but if it is, we do have these zones already in our play at 45. So just wait for things to level out. I would say anything under, looking at Nessie, and this is Nessie just on this themed bands that we have. I would say $50, $50, or at least 49. I'd probably start billing out of that. Again, why I said don't do an overnight hold or over weekend the hold. Tesla, didn't prove me wrong at all. It did actually drop almost, I would say, down to 695. So again, if you would have been in that call, you would be down some money right now. So that's not the way you want to start your Monday. So Tesla levels, again, if once it's in these lower bands, there's a higher chance for it to go back up, and that's what we saw. Even though the prices was probably a little higher over this range, it bounced here, right? And now we're just having a little accumulation session set up. So um, let's look at the 1 hour just real quick, just to see. We see kind of we're touching these deviations right here. So even if it goes up, it's still going to fall in resistance at 716. We have to break this first. And sometimes before you can break that, it has to go lower so it can create new simulations with the band. So I would say anything drop point 685, drop point there, get out of your calls immediately, because I could see a lot bigger drops happening. It's definitely squeezing, so that's something to pay attention to as well. If we can get pop through this resistance here at the 421, 438, 458, all the way up to 900 long term. Lowest term low would be 469, 470. So if we go to some of the ones that my users recommended to take a look at, let's take a look at them. So I have not. This is the first time I've seen this chart, so forgive me. I'm gonna try to figure out as quick as I can. So I do see a VWAP resistance at 1803. I'm gonna have to use Nessie on this one. So let's see if we see another resistance. Okay, so it's kind of stair climbing, meaning if you see resistance keeps pulling on the line keeps pulling on the movement, meaning the line just keeps going up and up with the price, but it's still showing resistance. It's because it's not breaking through. This is a trend. Usually, this is what happens when breakouts happen. Um, it's just trying to protect traders because there's going to be a lot of volatility. You can see every time it hits these tops of the lines that it rejects down, it hits the top again, and it rejects down. And this can also signify a squeeze happening. So if we look on the 10 minutes, this is a clear indication. If we can break through 17 today, we could definitely see $20 by I would even say maybe close to end of the week, maybe not, maybe even faster. It might show up on Wednesday. So it really depends on what the market's going to do. Is it safe? It's decently safe. Once you get into this mid zone here, it is a 50-50 chance. So let's see if it levels out or if it drops. And if it drops, it's going to be lower than the previous location at 1384, a little lower at $13. So that's something to keep a mental check on. And that would be my levels. $20 your lowest, 12 if it rejects the 16 range, just don't even think about it. Just wait till that thing drops down to about 12, $13. Even 14 if you're playing conservative, just use a stop loss or something, mental stop loss or actual stop loss, however you want to play it. But yeah, that's what I would do. Set some alerts and kind of just wait for this confirmation here. So snow is another one I never looked at before, and it looks like there's a little bit of room. It might retest 282 possibly today, and if it does, then we could see 291 as a next level. If it breaks though, and it does look like there is a little bit of squeeze on these bands here, it's kind of hard to see, but this rounded to here, how it's rounding both sides, a little bit of divergence happening when these round through. And when it starts, that's usually when it squeezes. And depending on what with resistance levels it's already having issues with, sometimes it can break down pretty heavy. So 254 is a range that it could break down to. Let's see if we can get any more confirmation. So there is a previous resistance at 278, and then we see probably about the same. So if we can break this 278, this seems like a pretty high resistance. Next levels would be 290. That would be my level right there, 290, and so on and so forth. And I got upper levels up here, so maybe I have TA'd this before. 298, and again that 242, or we said 252. 252 seems better. So let's go with that 252. If we do have some market dropping this morning, maybe 252 would be the area I'm looking at. And then our take profit would still be the same, 290-ish, that area, 295 being conservative. So let's go to Roku. I just like Roku because Roku moves so fast. Roku looks like it had a gap up. No surprise there. Holding a weird support here. The volatility of this was not allowing the price to drop. They just kept buying it back every single time. The sellers tried to push it down. So let's just say right here in the all be all, if we break 390, we could definitely see a little bit lower, maybe down here to 346. But I actually think it's going to roll up, and if so, our profit area is 416. That would be previous zone, and if it can break through that, then maybe up to 489 this week. So 49. So if you have to go back and watch that again, you can always get those levels because I am moving pretty quick right now. That's pretty much all I'm seeing right now. I'm not going to worry about space or neo. We had a nice bounce on space, so we should continue to see, that fluctuate a little bit here and there. Maybe hit up to 35, maybe go back down, and then punch all the way up through 40. That's kind of what I'd like to see, up to 40, up to maybe by Thursday. And I know I'm just throwing these dates out, but I know I'm trying to just be conservative with how I'm looking at it as well. One thing I'd like to note too is, like, guys, when you see a drop happening, and if you were in this trade and it dropped, try to disconnect yourself emotionally from it, right? Because that's what a lot of people were doing. They're like, oh my gosh, it's dropping, what am I supposed to do now? With the algorithms that we have, you can see what's the next levels that it's supposed to bounce at. So even if it's a strong bounce, the next levels where resistance is, right? So say that the price did, come all the way down here, right? You're going to see a lot of people panicking and freaking out. But we know if it drops there, there's another level it could go down. True, but if it did bounce, and let's just say the bounce was having some resistance actually right here somewhere, right? We know why, because our algorithms are already showing that resistance. Once it breaks through that, then we might see, it try to retest. So it's very important just to, again, have that probability mindset and just disconnect the emotions, disconnect any kind of interference in your brain with your trade, because there's going to be a lot of interference going on with media or anything else trying to hype or downplay or whatever. So that's probably my best advice today. And since we are kind of getting more in that overbought section in the market, again, just scale in, don't go heavy on your plays, and take profit when you see it. All right, guys, if you would like to learn more about these algorithms, go ahead and join our group. Right now, it's a great time to get into it and, get some investments going. Just knowing the system and everything is going to just gain you some wealth in the future. All right. Thanks for watching.